We start with what the feds say is the biggest single-day bribery takedown in the history of the Justice Department. I'm Natalie Pasquarella.
And I'm David Ushery. 70 people were charged today, including many NYCHA building supers. We have live team coverage, starting with our chief investigative reporter, Jonathan Dienst, who broke the story this morning. He's in the newsroom. Jonathan.
David, Natalie, in this one investigation, prosecutors say they found corruption in 1/3 of all New York City public housing projects. Today, dozens and dozens of current and former workers were led away in handcuffs. There were so many public housing workers allegedly taking bribes that the feds had a bus on standby today to drive them over to court. The overflow of suspects were soon seen being led away into U.S. Marshal vans. All the arrests began early this morning. Here, Homeland Security Investigations agents, along with City Department of Investigation detectives, seen taking away some workers from the Baisley Park houses in Queens. New York City Housing Authority properties, or NYCHA properties, raided this morning to arrest supers and assistant supers from the Latimer and Woodside houses in Queens to the Taft and MLK houses in Harlem.
Superintendents accepting and extorting bribes from contractors had become business as usual, occurring in almost 100 NYCHA buildings across all 5 boroughs.
Prosecutors say bribe schemes like these have been ongoing for a decade, involving jobs like window replacements or plumbing, $10,000 or less no-bid contracts, at the discretion of the super to get the work done. But too often, to get the work, investigators say that contractors had to give the NYCHA workers like these a big kickback, meaning more money to line pockets and less money to improve living conditions.
These victims may have been cheated out of better services and programs meant to improve their lives.
NYCHA houses about 300,000 New Yorkers, and the agency gets about $1.5 billion in federal aid. This latest public housing corruption investigation began about a year ago. The feds and DOI say they documented $2 million in bribes on $13 million in contracts.
If the contractors didn't pay up, the defendants wouldn't give them the work. That's classic pay to play. And this culture of corruption at NYCHA ends today.
Tough talk from the U.S. attorney, who said in addition to the 70 charged today, more arrests could soon be coming. Some contractors are cooperating with the feds against building supers. Most defendants now charged with federal solicitation of a bribe, a count that carries a max of 10 years in prison. Several others also face federal extortion counts that carry up to 20 years if convicted. Natalie?
Chief investigative reporter Jonathan Dienst with this story. John, a lot of folks talking about this. News 4's Andrew Siff continuing our team coverage now live in Lower Manhattan with the reaction from the NYCHA residents, Andrew.
Right, Natalie, and some of the defendants that Jonathan just talked about are making their initial appearances in federal court behind me. But as you indicated, we spoke with residents. Many of them are just in disbelief, and they're wondering if this alleged bribe scheme impacted the pace of getting things fixed. Some tenants wonder if repairs to their pipes and other apartment problems got delayed because of the alleged bribe scheme.
I mean, that's crazy. You know, people put in work orders and wonder why they take so long to come up with these work orders, and they taking money.
Others say they aren't surprised to hear about the criminal charges. You don't seem shocked.
No, I don't. It's been going on for a long time. You know, what can we do as New Yorkers?
It's a very disappointing day at NYCHA.
Lisa Bova-Hiatt is CEO of the Housing Authority, the nation's largest. She had stern words for those accused.
They've betrayed the public trust. We will not tolerate any type of malfeasance.
But also tried to keep the arrests in perspective. 55 current employees charged out of a workforce of 12,000.
Although 55 is a huge number, in the context of all the work that we do across the 5 boroughs, it puts it in perspective.
City investigators have made 14 recommendations of what NYCHA can do better, including cost controls and better oversight.
Our recommendations include transferring responsibility from micro purchases from development level staff to a centralized procurement unit.
And what investigators are saying is also to have a prearranged cost structure that takes away some of the haggling, the negotiating, and the alleged bribery. We're live in Lower Manhattan. Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
Andrew, thank you. Once again, this is a history-making prosecution. Our coverage of the NYCHA corruption scandal continues in the newscast and around the clock on our website, NBCNewYork.com. Just search